Hey guys, and welcome to Trucking Along with Kirsty. That's me, your positive voice in trucking. I decided to give StreamYard a try. Anybody that's watching this, you guys know if you've seen me in the past, I'm not very technical. So I wanted to see if this was going to work. StreamYard's been weird with me because when I've tried to go into other people's lives with StreamYard, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I'm in a hotel now and I have a pretty good Wi-Fi. My my what do you call it? My hotspot. If you saw my other video, my other live where I broke all my phones, well, I got a little hotspot. So we're gonna see if this works. Test works. Hey, yo, Michaela, guess what? I actually mentioned you on that NBC interview. So we'll see if it how much they edit out everything. RN, nice to have you in here. Is there anybody in here that wants to come in and talk? Well, hey, Travis, there is somebody. There is somebody that you guys should check out. And guess what? On this StreamYard, I cannot make you a moderator here. So I promise I'll do it. I'll do it on my other thing. Trey, hi, how you doing? I'm playing around with this. I didn't say that I knew some dirty old hooker. That's not what I said. Travis, you want to try to pop in here? I'll post the link. I think I'm posting a link. I'll see if I can post a link. Huh. It doesn't work. It won't let me post it. Interesting. Let's see. Try this. Oh, there we go. Who wants to pop in here? And no nastiness. Dominique, look, guys, there's somebody for you to go check out. Dominique the dump truck. I'm playing around with the StreamYard. I've never done it before, and I wanted to see if I could have somebody pop in here. Yes, Michaela, I am in Springfield. I've been here for, I don't know, since Tuesday night. Probably going to be here another few days. I was here filming the NBC thing and had to get the truck detailed and all that good stuff. And then the truck went into the shop and now it's nasty out. So I'm not going anywhere anyway. It's still in the shop. Neo, no, dirty's bad. Trey, who's in England? Yeah, I'm not Dominique. I'm no good with technology either. But with the StreamYard, you can bring people into the chat. You can interview people. So no nastiness. Well, that just let me out. Oh my gosh. You have been a little raunchy, a little bit. My eyebrows went one or two times. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Who's where and who's safe? And Dominique, how's that baby doing? Oh, here we go. Here's Travis. We'll get Travis in here. Okay, can we hear Travis?
Check one. How about it?
Crap.
Can you hear me?
We'll see how this is going to work. See if I can hear Travis.
I have lint on my microphone.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, woohoo! Can
this
you
is
guys
so
hear
cool.
me? Okay, this is my first time doing this, and I am glad to have you. I am so glad to have you. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Travis is also a prime driver. You came through PSD, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then once you did your 30,000 miles, and then you went team as a company team.
That's right.
So how long were you a company driver at Prime?
Let's see. from September until January. So for about 3 or 4 months or so, I think I started like the beginning of September. I think I got my first load like the first week of September after upgrading and everything.
Hey, you know what? It doesn't have your name on here though. I don't know how to do that. Well, now he's Lease. So you've been Lease what? 2 weeks? 1 week?
Yeah,
Hasn't
something
been
like that.
long.
2 weeks. No, not long at
Well,
all. Like 2 weeks. Might be my third week.
are you happy with it?
It's I tell people often, it's almost the same thing. I mean, 80 to 85% of it's the same thing. We're all pulling freight. We're all picking up trailers, dropping trailers and everything, you know. I appreciate
Mm,
the extra kind of metrics responsibility that I do. Like honestly,
mm,
I did not take fueling very serious at all as a company driver. If anything, I was
mm,
always filling everything up because, trying to get my loves points and everything, you know.
mm,
So I take that a little more seriously, because
mm.
it really does mean dollars to me now. But I mean, for
Right.
the most part, it's the same thing. You're hauling freight, you know.
True. True.
I don't do
I
a whole
think
lot of declining loads and all of that. I'm still learning, so.
yeah. Well, you got to learn the freight lanes, and Lord
Mhm.
knows we have enough of these other YouTubers that can help you out with that.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, I even know a little bit about that. But
Yeah.
when it comes to being a company driver, though, I pay more attention to where I fuel because that affects my fuel bonus. You know.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So,
Yes.
and guess this week I was number 1 in net fuel costs for my
Really.
fleet and
Tell me what it is.
number 6 in all of reefer.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I don't know if I don't even know what I do with my phone. But yeah,
You're looking for
I'm
your
like,
net fuel costs?
woohoo.
I'm super curious now.
That's right. Uh, but I'm usually somewhere in the top somewhere.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I
In the
think
4 week, I was
maybe
number 1, and I was 211 out of reefer, and that net fuel was 10.6.
that is great.
And
That's
this
really
week
good.
was 8.1.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
strong. That's awesome. And you drive a Freightliner, yeah?
now I have an international.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. I have a Peterbilt, so I struggle real bad.
Okay, Michaela says that she met one of her subscribers today in the Denver yard, and he
Oh, that
also
is
loves
super
me.
cool.
Woohoo!
That is super
That's
cool.
cool. Doesn't All right? And this question's from Trey. Does a new driver have to build up their road endurance? Will a new driver have to work up to 10 hours a day?
Hmm.
So how did it work with you?
With me, I would say yes. I don't know if I had to build up more of a road endurance rather
Mhm.
than maybe I would call it a seat endurance, like actually staying in the seat and keeping the left door closed. I remember in training specifically, it was like
Mhm.
I would drive an hour and a half and I'm like, oh, well, let's stop and go to the restroom or something,
Yeah.
you know. And then I drive another hour and a half, and it's like I gotta go to the bathroom again. It was almost as if I'm kind of looking for excuses to do something, before I
Mhm.
could really sit in the seat 3 or 4 hours, and then I'll stop and use the
Mhm.
restroom. Controlling my liquid intake, I drink water because I'm bored, so I'm just throwing the water bottles back. But as far as road endurance, now I will. Okay, so everyone's different, right? My approach to driving has always been to just drive 8 or 9 hours a day. That's my thing. It's on my videos and stuff. I don't knock anybody else, who wants to run their clock out or anything, but that's my thing. I drive 8 or 9 hours a day and I call it a day. So it doesn't take as much endurance to do 8 hours in a day, 8.5
Mhm.
versus doing a 10.
When I first started, it was really easy for me because I had a boyfriend that was in the military. So I used to drive all over the country just to go follow him from
Oh,
army base to army base. And it was kind of funny because no matter where you go, no matter what company you go to, you're going to run into good trainers and bad trainers, and people have different idiosyncrasies and all that. So,
Yeah.
one of my trainers had said to me, well, ha ha ha, you're not going to stop for a full 8 hours. You got to run 400 miles before I'm allowing you to stop. And by the way, I'm going to torture you and put you on the night shift. And I was like, well, ha ha ha, joke's on you, witch, because guess what? I've been working nights for 18 years at the post office, and 400 miles ain't crap to me. And then she was
Yeah.
like, oh, I was like, I'll tell you what, you want to torture me? Put me on the day shift. That ended that real fast because she didn't want to
Yeah.
go nights. But it's like I think sometimes when it comes to training, people have unrealistic expectations and they don't want to go
Yeah.
with the flow and that kind of thing. But I think when it
Absolutely.
comes to building up the endurance, it's really everybody's different. Everybody has different experiences and backgrounds. So, that person would know better. But I think as a trainer, you need to expect somebody to have to build that up. I mean, did your trainer didn't just say, "Okay, go drive 7 hours straight and not stop"?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You kind of, and ideally, I agree with you. Ideally, yes, a trainer would have that kind of we're going to slowly lean into it approach. I think when
Mhm,
I first started, my PSD trainer was my TNT trainer, and we knew
mhm.
each other prior to me even filling out the application. So I was like one of those guys who got to hit the road over PSD. So I'd just drive a couple of hours here, a few hours there. So I really got to get that building up experience. So ideally, yeah, a trainer would
Right.
ease it in.
I think it's a lot easier on the trainer to do that when you have the same person, PSD and TNT, because
Yeah,
what happens with me is I don't do PSD. So when I get a TNT, I have to drive them solo for 2 or 3 weeks to make sure that I'm not going to die.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to die. And there's
yeah.
been a couple that I really thought that maybe I would. RN says, how many fleets does Prime have? The answer to that is I have no freaking clue. I
So
really
I
don't.
don't know either. You know what, Kiersey? This doesn't
Mm,
answer the question, but I think we were
mm,
in a conversation in
mhm,
a little comment thread, and the
mhm,
latest Prime Ways magazine that was mailed to my house says that 80% of our drivers are lease drivers, but that doesn't answer our
mhm.
question. But RN did make me think about, so they covered like three of the people who have fleets, and one of the guys, Corey something, does that ring a bell to you?
Yeah, there's a Corey, but I don't know his
Yeah.
name.
Well,
He's out
Corey's got 12
Springfield.
trucks. I was like, wow,
He's
that's
got
a
how many?
12 trucks.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
I was like, whoa.
Um, the reason that it seems so high is because when they say lease, they're talking leased on also. So they're including all the fleets. Like they're including all of the people under their own authorities, like RST and
Mm-hmm.
all that. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, because they're leasing our freight basically.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know exactly the numbers. When I originally started back in the day, Prime was 100% lease,
Yeah.
and when I came, it was like 75% of the people that came out of training and upgraded went lease. Now it's like 50-50. So
Yeah.
people are starting to come back to the company side. There's a lot of misinformation out there about, being a company driver and what it means and what you can get away with and all that stuff. And it's
It
not that
really
even
is.
it's not a matter of people being malicious, but it's just the people, like sometimes drivers who have never been lease, they hear something from their trainer and then they pass that same info on to their students. And I get this all the time. Like one of the things that I was told was that Prime was going to go through my truck every month looking for drugs and alcohol and go through my personal belongings. And now you're laughing, he's laughing because he knows our fleet manager's not going to have us coming into the terminal every month because they don't want us sitting, they don't want us slowing down, they want to need
Yeah.
that money because
Exactly.
our fleet managers get paid based on our productivity. So,
Exactly. That hurts
so
everybody.
Barry wants to know, how is your money looking with the lease? Have you been
Um,
adjusting well?
so understand Barry, right?
Very.
They,
Okay, can
yeah,
I just interrupt one first thing? Okay.
yeah,
Not only is Travis, brand new to leasing, but he went lease with all this winter storm going on, in the middle of winter. Also, when our freight gets slower,
yeah,
usually reefer slows down, you know, January, February, March, and then starts picking back up April, May. So before he even says anything, I want you to realize that, because this has been a nasty, nasty time weather wise. So more people are shutting down.
yeah.
That doesn't
Seriously, I was
mean that I
actually
expected
thinking
you to
about
make
that
nothing.
earlier. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but I was actually thinking about that earlier. That I was warned by a number of people about going lease when I made that decision in January.
Mhm.
So I got to kind of keep that in mind. So, you know, I understood why people said talking about money when you're leased is a little tricky.
Mhm.
I understood it before going lease, but now I understood it. I understand it on even more of a level.
Mhm.
To give the most simplified answer I can possibly give is this: if I had the exact same benefits,
Mhm.
you know, if I had the exact same benefits, if I had them now as I did when I was company, I don't know if I got my verb tense right there, but whatever. If I, if I had the same benefits now that I did when I was company, I would be
Mhm.
about even right now. Now, understand, I'm only like 2 or 3 weeks in though.
Right.
Um, when you get it gross or when you get
Mhm.
your net in your bank account, it looks really large. But by the
Mhm.
time I set, 30% aside for taxes, and by the
Mhm.
time I save what I need to save for if anything breaks down in my truck, and then,
Mhm.
by the time I pay myself and send money home, I have a family, so it's not just Travis's money. Um,
Right.
I'm not seeing like this large. I'm not seeing like this large increase.
Right.
To anybody
Well,
watching, you should not go lease because you think you're like automatically going to have like thousands of more dollars in the bank. It's just
see, and this is what I say. Now, because you're brand new, and I'm not trying to belittle you at all or anything, because I have lease ops have been leasing for years that send me their pay settlements. There is a line down on the bottom that says revenue and expenses cash flow, and it
yeah,
breaks it up, your net by the week, and then your average cents per mile, and then also by the year, and then the lease to date.
that's right.
So if your lease to date is less per mile than what you were doing company, and you're not getting the same health benefits and workman's comp and life insurance and disability and all that, then consider, you know, that's when somebody has to
A waste of
consider,
time.
what am I doing out here? Because I
Yeah,
have too many people that call me up saying, hey, my wife is mad at me because I'm staying out 2, 3 months at a time. I can't make a car payment. I've been in the hole for, a month, and I'm not making child support and all that good stuff. And, I really feel bad for people. That's why some people say I hate lease, and I'm a hater and I'm jealous. It's not, it's that I get so frustrated when I see people, who were given these unrealistic expectations. And we
yeah,
talked about that in your,
yeah. I think
in your live feed.
the most realistic expectation I could give is if you were to pay for the same benefits specifically, because that's a big deal. Okay, you're really talking about a lot of cash value. If you're a company driver and you have benefits, you're really talking
Mhm.
about cash value when you think
Mhm.
about your benefits, right? So if I had the same benefits, you could probably expect, and it depends. Like you're talking about the season we're in right now. Also, take into consideration this is only my second or third week. I'm still getting used
Mhm.
to lanes. I don't know where the best freight is for February,
Mhm.
middle of February right now. So I'm just kind of all over the place, right? Maybe you could expect on average maybe a $200 to $300 increase if you had the
Yeah.
same benefits. If you didn't have the same benefits, maybe a little more, but it's just an
Mhm.
average.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's not, sometimes it's more.
Yeah.
It just is what it
Well,
is.
Atlanta and Columbus, Ohio are always great places for
I
lease ops. It
know.
doesn't seem to be what time of year. So, and No Hippie did a video last year, because if I remember correctly, he went lease right around the beginning of the year also.
He did.
And he said in that video, which made a lot of sense, starting when everything is down and building your expectations on that, it just means everything's going to go higher. Back in
Yeah.
2018, the freight rates were through the roof. So all these brand new people were coming in and they were getting these $3, $4, $5 mile loads. And then when it came back down to normal, and we're not talking it went down, we're talking it leveled out back to normal. These same people were all of a sudden saying, oh, I'm not making any money and this is crap and Prime screwing me. And no, it's just that they came in at a peak time and they just expect it to continue at that level. And it's
Yeah.
not going to happen. So we got Wild Beard Trucking in the house. And if people haven't watched him, go check him out. He's
Yeah.
got a baby on the way. I tried to give him some super chat the other day. It didn't work. So you know what? If you gotta, I'm serious, Wild Beard, you gotta email me like a Cash App or something because I want to give you a gift for that little baby. I'm serious. And Dominique's over here now. Dominique is somebody who's really interesting because she's a woman, but she's been kicking it for how long you been driving now, Dominique? Because I think it's been like 10, 12, 13 years, something like that. She's saying that when she drove over the road, she pulled 11 hours with no problem, but they also didn't have forced brakes, so she could just keep on going if she wanted to.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah. Big a-hole is trying to say he's new. No, you're not. We all know you. And you know me. Oh, there you go. Michaela, I'll be a mother trucker. She was an army wife for 16 years. And uh, I that explains a lot. But it's kind of funny because we were talking about relationships in another live feed over on Bee's Knees. And relationships are really hard. Are you involved with somebody? Are you married? You got
I am.
kids?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
married and I have 2 little girls, 5 and 2.
So what's that like being out here?
So I'm not going to give you too much because I actually recorded a 2-part segment earlier today that I need to edit and post on YouTube. Um, it's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I you could say so much, but I guess it's almost expected for me to say it's challenging, but it's definitely challenging. I'll
Mm-hmm.
say this. This is the only thing I'll say because I don't want to give my whole video away. For people who are not truckers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever relationship you have, especially for like married people, you got to some of these Facebook groups and they're like, oh, truckers get a divorce. Why truckers can't keep a wife? Oh, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever relationship you have before you become a trucker is the relationship you're going to have when you become a trucker. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
circumstances and situations do nothing more than put a flashlight on a
Mm-hmm.
uh, a condition, an area of your life. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes just a circumstance can put a flashlight on an area of your life. Whatever type of marriage you got before you became a trucker, that's the marriage you're gonna have after you become a trucker.
I
Nobody's gonna turn
totally
into a
agree.
cheater suddenly because you're over the road. Like, no, it's not like that.
Exactly. Exactly. Dominique's asking how she says it might be weird. It's not weird for you to ask how long we run with a trainer. Um, Prime does their
Yeah,
CDL school a little bit differently. So you may be in the terminal on the backing pad for like a week or two. You may go out on the road with a CDL instructor where you run the truck solo, you make deliveries, they sit in the seat next to you by law. And then after that, it's either 50,000 team miles if you go through prime school or 60,000 team miles if you come in with a CDL. So, but back to what you were saying, absolutely. If you have a jealous wife at home and she's going through your emails and everything, she's going to be calling your dispatcher. She's going to be
yeah,
calling your other trucker friends and asking where the heck you are. God
yeah.
forbid. You better have 4 different cell phones with all different wireless carriers because that woman is going to call.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's challenging, but I don't know. You just gotta, you just gotta do it. That's it.
Yeah.
Just gotta do it.
Um, Michaela says she was put on the night shift. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of trainers do that. I personally don't run that way. And one of the reasons I don't do that is I made it a point that
as a trainer, I have to know lease, I have to know company, I have to know solo, I have to know teaming. So I need to train that person to be whatever it is that their goals are. So I flip flop people all the time. A lot
That's
of
awesome.
times they'll just be like, okay, drive for 5 hours and then I'll take over. And whoever has that time and the hours, that's who starts the day, whoever feels like it. I don't stick to a schedule because running reefer, you're going to flip flop all the time. Is
Hmm.
that not so?
That is definitely so. I've been flip flopping the past 2 or 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's awesome. I'm really excited to become a trainer. I really am.
Ooh. Are you going to do it soon?
Hmm. So I'm scheduled
Mm-hmm.
to go to Ace 2 as soon as I possibly can. I'm scheduled to
Okay.
do Ace 2 like maybe the first or second week of March,
Okay.
because I need the like a month worth of settlements or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'll have all my requirements done after that. I'll probably have to
Right.
do the safety class again.
Cool thing about you being a trainer is you can also teach them company and answer their company questions, which a lot of
Hmm.
people can't do. So Trey wants to know, explain the 8-2 split. The 8-2 split was hard enough to explain before, and I made a video. It is one of my most popular videos. I think it's got like 11 or 12,000 views on it right now. And then what happened? They complicated it further and put 7-3 also.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then it used to be that your off-duty time was included in your 14. Now it's not. The easiest way to explain it is 11 minus whatever you drove in between the two breaks. That's the easiest way to explain it. So if you start your day, you drive 5 hours, and then you stop for 2 hours, and then you drive another 3 hours, and then you take the 8 hours in the sleeper. You drove 3 hours in between the two breaks. It doesn't matter how many hours you drove before then. You drove 3 hours in between the two breaks, so it's 11 minus 3 = 8. Go watch my video and I'll explain that because it's really hard. I actually put up numbers and formulas and stuff to try to
yeah.
explain it.
It is super difficult to explain verbally. So I just recorded one of those a couple days ago too, and then I realized how hard it is to actually like put it in verbiage.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
pretty cool once
Slim
you learn it
Shady.
though.
Slim Shady is at Schneider and was with a trainer for 5 days before going solo.
Whoa,
5 days.
wowzers! Is Slim Shady in the is Slim Shady in the comments? I can't see the
Yep.
comments. Oh
You,
wait,
you,
yeah I can. Oh, here we go. Jeff Rose in the house. Oh, I can see the comments.
all right, so you're way ahead of me already.
Can you still
Big
see my
A-hole's trying
camera?
to say that I'm going to kick him all out of the chat. I'm not going to kick Big A-hole out of the chat. I love Big A-hole. He makes fun of my wigs all the time, but I don't care. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Slim Shady. Hey, shout
There you
out to
go.
Slim Shady. I actually listen to like old Eminem stuff sometimes, I think. So
Well, and Captain Bananas here. Captain Bananas says, I get all my information from Kiersey, and guess what? That's the guy that's on par to make $68,000 his first year in the reefer
wow.
division
Awesome.
because he listens to me.
Yeah,
No,
awesome.
I'm going to take all the credit for your work, Captain Bananas.
So I will say this, Kiersey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The whole money thing, I feel like it's not a secret. Like what we get paid is on the internet. You can just go on the internet, especially when I was a company driver, you can go on the internet and see what I got paid. And it's not hard to find out what I average in mileage. So I will say I started with Prime as an employee on July 14th. And by the end of the year, what do you call
Mm-hmm.
the little slip of paper to do your taxes? It's not your W-2, right?
Yeah, it's your
So you're,
W-2.
okay, I
Mm-hmm.
forgot. I'm sorry. So I picked up my W-2 and I made like $100 shy of 30,000 just from July
Mm-hmm.
to the end of the year. So I was like
All
straight,
right.
and that was all company right there. So I was like, awesome.
Right. So that's like 60 grand. And yes,
Yeah,
you'll be on a 1099 now, not a
yeah, I
W-2.
know. It was
Yes.
cool to see that though. I was like, awesome.
Captain Banana is shut down due to snow in Fort Worth, and they don't have snow plows.
Oof.
That sucks. Brandon is here from LA. What is it like in Los Angeles? Please tell me that you're not freezing your butt off. My sister's in Hawaii. It's 61 degrees in Hawaii, and they don't have heat. She's having a panic attack because she had to turn her air conditioner off. I'm serious. Uh-oh. You disappeared on me. Wildbeard, I do not hate you at all. Wildbeard, you want to come in here? Come on in here, Josiah. Come in here, Josiah, because Travis just decided to leave me. But for those of you who don't know Wildbeard, he's been in a couple different companies. He's awesome. He's positive. He's a pastor. He, oh, Travis is coming back, I think. Here we
Yeah.
go. Travis back again.
I was pressing buttons. So this whole StreamYard thing is so awesome. I was pressing buttons and I don't even know what happened. I just
You know, guess what? When I try to go into other people's StreamYards, it doesn't always let me in. And Pale Rider had me in, and I felt so bad for him because he kept hitting and let me back and let me back. And finally, after like 20 minutes, it just let me go. But Wildbeard, when I met him about a year ago, he was at Hirschbach. He was doing a lease purchase at Hirschbach. And what was interesting is he's very, very open and honest with his numbers. And so I compared the lease purchase to the Hirschbach, and the prime actually comes out cheaper, but he saved money on fuel. So, it seems like it all washes away in the end. But now he owns his truck. So you guys want to
that's
see
awesome.
somebody that went, lease purchase and then wound up buying a truck independently, not from the companies, then go check him out. He's really cool. I love him.
What a good feeling.
Jeffro, I think Jeffro's in here. Big a-hole,
Yeah, I
what?
saw
Who's a
Jeffro in
crazy
there.
woman? Yeah. He's here in Springfield. Where are you, Travis?
He is. I'm like 240 miles away from Springfield. I shut down because of the weather and everything, and I just like
Mm,
pouted. I was trying to make it, but
mm.
I didn't make it. So I'm gonna wait for the sun to come up where I can see everything really well, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, Chucker John, D'Anthony. D'Anthony and I had lunch together yesterday. That was pretty cool. Dirty Broke is in the house. You guys don't know Dirty Broke, go check him out. This man has like decades of experience. He's run the
Wow.
gambit. He's been company driver, he's been owner operator, he's done it all, hauled it all, and now he is a fuel company driver, fuel tanker. So
Oh,
he's
sweet.
local and he gives a lot. And that 215, that's our area code in in the Philadelphia area. I'm from South Jersey. He's from the Philadelphia area, so we're really close. It was funny because I just happened to pop into one of his lives one day, and he was talking about the Eagles. It was the first time I ever saw his channel, and I just said, "Go Eagles!" And it was like, "All right, all right, we got this bond now."
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking Cowboys, and
Yeah,
Eagle
that's
fans had to
awesome.
go after the Cowboys. I don't
Yeah.
even know much about football, but it's enough for me to bond with some guys when I need to.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I
Yeah.
saw Barry comment for my YouTube channel. I don't know if you can type it in there. I can't type it in there, but it's just youtube.com/ Travis Kinley lives, just like the way my name is spelled, and then lives like Lives.
Yeah, I don't know how to put that. Maybe I can. I can't make moderators on here on this StreamYard, but I have them on let's see.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to type it anymore because that's what happened when I closed it the first time by accident. So let me just leave that alone.
You realize that that's not what your name is on here, though?
What, Travis Kinley? What is it?
Your thing is Trask Flame.
Oh yeah, is it? It's showing it
Yeah,
that. So
that's
that's what
what
it used to be. I don't know how to like change that anymore.
because you can't change it, I don't think. But
I was like 18 when
here.
I did that.
Oh, geez.
When
All
you're
right,
18, you
so
make all sorts of
there's
email addresses and everything.
there's Travis down. There's his link down below, so go check him out. Um, Hans wants to know how long you've been driving total, but you just said July, right?
Yeah, that's
So
right. I
that's
was
when you
hired in.
started TNT.
Yeah, that's right. I actually held a CDL before that. I used to drive school buses, And then in addition to that, I also used to be a career fireman, so I drove fire trucks as well. So that's all my air brake experience, but actual with a combination, you know, vehicle. Just July 14th, that was my hire date.
Yeah. And Big A-hole is apparently old and over the hill because he's trying to tell us that I bet none of you were around before the 14-hour clock where you didn't have to worry about split resets, and I hate all these new rules. Yes, you're right.
So,
You're right. I was not here during that. I've been driving 5.5 years. When I got here, though, they had this weird rule that you had it if you took a 34-hour reset. I don't know. It's something about between 1 and 5 a.m. You had to make sure that you did it twice, or I don't know, some weird crap. And
what?
I'm like, yeah, it.
So I'm
Hans
actually
says to
looking
be a
to see when that started, the 14-hour clock. I'll let you
yeah.
know if I find it.
But there was some weird rule that between like 1 and 5, you had to make sure those hours were covered or something. It was, and I think it was because they were trying to stay that like between midnight and 5 a.m. is when they have the most accidents due to being tired, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And Hans says that to be a trainer, my opinion is you should have 2 years experience. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. Okay, I trained my first student at 1.5 years, and my backing still sucked. And she was my friend. Okay. And I didn't want to train her because I knew my backing sucked. Everything else I was cool with. I had all my time down. I could explain things. I screwed up so much that, trust me, I learned a lot. There's a lot you learn from your own mess ups. But I had
Mhm.
said to her, I don't feel comfortable training you because I still backs and I'm terrible. And she said to me, well, you still know more than me, and I don't want to risk going on the truck with a creepy trainer. No offense to guys, but women do have fears about that stuff. And I think some of the guys do have fears about women getting on the truck and then accusing them of something even when they didn't mean it, or just because that stuff can happen. It's not saying it's
Mhm.
going to happen, but we all know people are really litigious in our society no matter what. So
Mhm.
I wound up when I took her and I realized how bad of a backer she was, and I saw all the different tight spots that I was getting into. I was like, "Whoa, wait! I'm actually pretty good at backing now." So I did. After her, I didn't train for another year. So I took somebody at 2.5 years, and the honest to God truth is, by that time, I was a really good trainer. But I don't think I was bad at 18 months. She thought I was fabulous, and I do a lot of research for everything. So I went to all my friends and asked all my friends, what did your trainer not teach you that you had to find out on your own?
Mhm.
And I put it all together in one packet and I was giving it out to all different people. So I think that if you have somebody that's been driving 20 years and they don't care about finding you answers, and they don't care, they just want that bonus for you upgrading, or they just want you to drive the miles so that they make the money. It doesn't matter how long that person's been driving. Doesn't matter how much experience they got. If they're not interested in teaching you, you're not learning.
That's right.
That's all it is.
That's right. I heard a saying one time that a person could be a teacher for 20 years, but actually have been teaching 1 year and just did that 1 year thing, the same thing 19 years in a row after that. So
Mhm.
just someone driving for 2 years doesn't necessarily being the key word, put them
Mhm.
in a better spot to train than someone who's been driving for 9 months. We look at the academic society, right? Now, I'm not
Mhm.
necessarily saying that that opinion is, incorrect or that I disagree, but I'm just giving a different perspective from a 2 year mandate to train. You look at the academic society, the only thing required in order for you to teach someone is that you have mastered a level above. So, for example, to teach an undergraduate class, you need to have a master's degree. To teach at the master's level, you need to have the doctorate degree. In order to teach at the doctorate level, you have to have the terminal degree, is what it's called, meaning you have exhausted every educational option within a certain field. So, in order to train a rookie, then you need to have mastered the A seat role, So I don't think prime standard is necessarily unreasonable or too rushy. They're requiring you to have a winter season. They're requiring you to have 9 months. You're just 3 months short of a full year. And depending on when you started, you had to do a full year anyway to get your winter season, right? You have to be signed off by safety, meaning they're not, if you doggone ran a truck off the bridge, I know I'm exaggerating, but if you ran a truck off the bridge, they're not going to let you be a trainer. Your fuel mileage, your net fuel cost has to be at a certain threshold. So I don't know, just think someone could have 2 years experience, but ran a truck off a bridge, have terrible fuel mileage. You see what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think it's unreasonable, but at the same time, I don't think higher standards are necessarily a bad thing. I just think there's got to be a pretty good argument behind it too.
One of the problems with trying to get trainers is that, and I asked the fleet manager this. I said, "Do you know you terrify people when they're new and you're already talking about training?" Because oh, are you going to be interested in getting training down the line? They're terrified to go out solo. But I was told that one of the reasons they plant those seeds in is like somebody like me. I came in and I was $70,000 in debt. Okay. And so somebody that's in debt is going to be more likely to want to train to pay that debt off. Right. So once you're here for a couple years, I paid off that debt in 2 years. After 2 years, I didn't have to run so hard anymore. I didn't need to give up the space in my truck. You're giving up a lot to be a trainer. You're giving up sleep to be a trainer, and all students want this great trainer, but we really want somebody that we feel like when we invest our time, our energy, and our sleep, because you're not sleeping. I don't care what anybody says, and that's the truth. I would actually park the truck for several hours a day just so I could take, naps here and there and that kind of thing. So Big A-hole says he's not making fun of my wigs. That's what Elite does. Okay. I'll let you go with that. I love you anyway. I even like Elite. He and I have been talking on the phone. So if you guys don't know Elite, go check him out, because he it was like an attack dog on this guy Trucks there for a while with all the drama. He wants to be the Howard Stern of like YouTube trucker environment, but he's actually really knowledgeable. He's been driving for like 22 years and he's still a company driver.
Wow, that's awesome.
And he and I were on the phone for a long time. Imagine me talking for a few hours, right? And he's really knowledgeable and a really nice guy. So he just bought a GoPro and he's going to start doing like vlogs and educational videos. So I think that's really cool, because we got another really good veteran driver that can help us all out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, wait, Slim Shady talking about moving on from Schneider. Oh, so currently researching options. You got to give me the scoop. Why don't you want to go to Schneider? Why don't you want to stay at Schneider? Because Schneider does have some rules. Like, they won't let you do the splits. Okay.
Really?
You can't. Yeah. Schneider, they also don't let you talk on the phone when you're driving, not even with the headset. So,
Schneider better be careful. I know we got another driver from Schneider. We got him at Springfield right now. And she or he, I don't want to reveal too much, but she or he said the same thing Slim Shady said. They were in training, and before they could blink 3 times, they were in their own truck.
Well, that's how they do it. That's how they've done it for a while. I think it's like 1 week of orientation, 1 week on the pad with your training and getting your license, and a week out on the road. So you want to talk about training? I think that I personally couldn't have done that.
I couldn't have
done that. Yeah.
They would have got
AJ wants to know, can you make more money local or over the road? Well, that's a loaded question, because
it is.
When you're talking about making more money or having more cash flow, those are two completely different things. I did a video about this also where if I went home, like I gave up my car and my apartment and everything. So my bills, if I went home and got a place, I'd be spending $30,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for me to go home and have the same amount of spending power that I have now, I'd need to make like $105,000 at a local job. And usually that's not going to happen. Plus
Usually
going
not.
local. Yeah. Going local, you also wound up, doing 12 and 14-hour days mandatory, right? I don't do that now. I'm sorry. I'm lazy. Some days I'll drive. Like when I come off of home time, I drive 300 miles that day. That's it. I got to get back into the flow.
Yeah. Let me
But
ease my way back into this thing. Yeah,
yeah.
I hear a handful of local drivers saying that not only do they work they milk the cow on their 14, but
Mhm.
it's also like 99% touch freight. So
Yeah, the line haul you don't have to do. You don't have to touch. You don't unload it or anything because you're just taking the doubles and the triples from hub to hub. And
mhm.
I think Old Dominion for the line haul, it's 70 cents a mile. So that's pretty good. No offense to you, but that's better than you and me. But,
Yeah.
it's also those 10 and 12, those 12 and 14-hour days. It's based on seniority. So you get the crappy shifts, the crappy routes, and then you have to live near a terminal. So your 10 hours off includes that commute each way. So there's a
Mhm.
lot that you have to take in. And now if you do the P&D, where it's pickup and delivery and you're unloading
Mhm.
that freight, you got to go into these rinky dink little places with tight backing. Like, have you seen much really tight backing out there? What's the
Really not
worst place you've
much.
been, Ton? No.
There's one place in California that kicked my butt, and that's really the only thing that stands out. It's one place in California. It's I can't even remember where it was. But I do know I was watching a show on Netflix,
Mhm.
and that same location popped up on the show. And I was
Mhm.
like, I was at home. I was like, baby, I've been there. I've been there. I remember it. Honestly, it showed like this homeless camp, and I was like, I remember that RV right there, So it's pretty cool. But that place kicked my butt. It was just really tight. But other than that, I don't know. I
Mhm.
barely go to tight spaces. Nothing that stands out in my head. I've usually got plenty
Yeah.
of room.
I almost think that that's something that they do based in seniority, because not seniority, but experience, like the longer that you've been here, because I've been in some really tight places. Look, get your thumb off there.
So I
I'm
didn't know you
teasing.
could see it. I
No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. All right, now we lost your audio. Can't hear you. I can't hear you. All right. We're gonna kick him out a minute and let's see if we can get him back in. But let's see. Yeah, and something else that some of my local friends have told me. Like I had a really good friend that is our R&L carriers, another one that's at Old Dominion, and they tell me that they feel like their quality time at home was actually better when they were over the road, because when they would go home, they could concentrate on only being home for days at a time. Whereas, you know, when you have that 10-hour break, if you spend an hour driving home and then you have 8 hours to eat, sleep, spend time with your family, and then you have to drive back to work, 8 hours later, that can be exhausting. But I do have a local rookie video that has all different really tight spaces that I've been in both like in Jersey, in Philly, Northeast Philadelphia, Upper Darby, places like that. Hans says local is nicer, especially with family you can be home with daily. Yeah, it depends on where you live. And, in the Northeast, local can be a really pain in the butt. I've thought about it. I keep contemplating it. I could do intermodal here at Prime that would get me home more, and I'm trying to figure out what to do because my mother's sick and, she's getting older and I got to watch out for her. John Hudson Valley, New York's in the house. Jonathan. Oh, okay. Jonathan here is somebody that I met at Springfield, and he was PSD, and now he's TNT, and he's here stuck in Springfield. Well, so am I. I'm at the Prime Hotel right now. Okay, and now I'm getting somebody else. Oh, somebody's texting me telling me who they are in here. Did I read your comment about StreamYard? Yes, I did. I do know that, but that wasn't the issue that we were having. So I thank you, Associate Minister. Dirty Broke says he was around long before GPS. Okay. Yo, Dirty, you want to come in here? That would be cool. When I started driving, they had a clock in the truck called Mickey Mouse. Disc inside. Oh, wow. I am really, really behind on these. Sorry, guys. I was more scared of having a bad trainer than learning to back, says Trucker John. Here, I'm going to go put this. I'm putting that link back up. We'll see. Oh, Bearded Fat Man's in here. There's a lot of guys in here. Hey, and ladies. When talking about Schneider and their rules, I don't think that they come up with stupid rules. I don't think any company comes up with stupid rules per se. Rules are usually based on people suing and lawsuits. I mean, that's what it comes down to. They're going to make different policies based on that. Captain Banana says, I did 75,000 miles in training due to COVID. I was still terrified about going solo. That's the truth. That's the truth. You could be on the truck, on the trainer's truck for a year. I had a friend that went to CRST. She was on a team truck, got out training, and was on a team truck for 14 months. And then when she went solo, she didn't really know how to do it. And it wasn't so much that she couldn't drive or she didn't know procedures. It was that she couldn't, manage her time as a solo. And she couldn't get used to the constant changing of the shifts and that kind of thing. Lynn says 40 hours at UPS, pension, paid health care, and no touch freight. Yep, that's a great job, but it's also probably hard to come by. They're not going to take people right out of CDL school, so you still have to go someplace else. Lynn, what does UPS need? Like 6 months? I think usually it's like FedEx and UPS, they need 6 months. Some of the other local carriers like Old Dominion need a year. And it depends on how much, how many applicants they got going at the time, because, those are desirable jobs, guys. So you're going to have stiff competition. What do you guys think about this option where you can go out of TNT at 30 miles and go company team with somebody? Well, that's what Travis was saying that he had done. And, he felt like it was a good fit for him. I was solo at 30,000 miles, and I can tell you that I was not confident, let's put it that way. But, I don't think anybody's ever confident going out. It's kind of like a bird leaving the nest. You just got to kind of push them. Yo, Billy Range, you guys want to jump in? You want to jump in here? Click on that freaking link. Somebody's got to want to come talk to me. Laura, if you guys don't know Laura is from Red Monkey Trucking. Laura and her husband Eric, they started at PTL. They loved it at PTL. They were there for a couple years. Her husband had gotten his license first, and she was kind of riding on the truck with him for a while. Red Monkey Trucking and I, we started our channels together. We've been supporting each other for a long time. So I absolutely love that couple. They are funny. They are now at GP Transco. So if you need any kind of information about PTL or GP Transco, those are the two people that you go to. Red Monkey Trucking. Captain Banana says, yeah, Philadelphia is terrible for trucks. I know. Billy Rains. Now, Billy, you're driving dry-van, right? Because Billy was at CFI. He's at KLLM now. Pretty sure he's doing dry-van. He's doing pretty much local, and he's home a lot. Yeah, Hans, not all local is about line hauling, though. It's delivering to grocery stores, right? And a lot of those grocery stores and, the beer distributors loads, those are heavy loads that you have to unload, and you wind up, by the case. So here we have Captain Banana in here. For those of you who don't know, Captain Banana is a prime reefer driver.
Heidi ho, everybody.
Okay, I can hear you well.
Good.
And Billy Rain says that in his drive-in he gets kind of tight. Bee's niece says we're blurry. Was I blurry?
Yeah, you're a little blurry.
Oh well, I'm sorry. It's probably because I'm using the laptop, and usually my videos are all on the really good camera. But
yeah. I'm using my phone.
So where are you? Captain Banana's reefer. Where are you?
I'm stuck in Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
Believe it or not, they don't have snow plows in Texas. They only got about maybe 3-4 inches of snow, but nothing's plowed. And as big as an 18-wheeler is, 4 inches of snow will stop it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's Mad Dog Trucking. Hi. He and I were on the phone the other night. Really nice guy. Okay. So for the audience, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? Because Captain Banana here is from South Jersey. He lives only about 20 minutes away from me. He was one of my subscribers. He was going to go to CR England, which, by the way, Billy Rains also worked for CR England. So you could always check out his channel for CR England information. But you were a cab driver, right?
Yeah, I drove a cab for 25 years.
So what made you come into trucking?
Well, Uber and Lyft just completely decimated the taxi business. And if I made $50 in a night driving a cab, that was a good night. That's how bad business has gotten. And I had to do something. And I'm good with computers, but I don't want to. I don't want to do that for a living. I prefer driving. My stepson had gone to CR England and then left CR England and went to a couple of different companies, and now he's working for a temp agency out in California, and he's making like $25 an hour driving a truck, which it's not bad money. So I originally I put in the application for CR England and started doing my research, and that's where I ran into this hot little blonde that had her own trucking channel. And yeah, and as soon as she said, "Hey, I'm from New Jersey." "Oh, really?" "Hey, well, I'm at exit 4. Where are you from?" "Oh, exit 3. Here's my phone number. Give me a call." What do we do? Talk for like 4 hours?
Yeah. There's nothing little about me, though, especially not my mouth. I have a really big mouth. And Bee's Knees Trucking Show is in the house. If you guys don't know him, go over and check him out. He was at Hirschbach with Wild Beard Trucking that was in here earlier, and so he could give you information about Hirschbach. That was a lease purchase. He is now an owner op running under BOC Enterprises Authority. So make sure you check him out. Yeah, but you know, they got their
Learn
own.
how to run out of fuel. Drive for BOC.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know Team Tiny is amazing because he bought a truck before he even had a CDL. Team Tiny was going to CDL school and was failing and everything, and he already had a truck. So now he runs with Bee's Knees and Trucker Wild TV, yeah, and BOC. And I was making fun of him because BOC, he usually does his videos shirtless. And the other night, right, Team Tiny had no shirt on. And I was like, is this the new uniform for your little, your little clique here? Kelsey,
Yeah,
I have not
colored
seen
uniform.
you. Kelsey, I have not seen you in a long time. What you been up to, girl? Because you just been missing in action. Can you send me some load for my online class only? Email me at truckingalongfun@gmail, and I will answer any of those questions and send you whatever you need sent. Yep, true rules come from lawsuits and people doing dumb stuff. There's a tipping point. That's true. Well, there you go, Jackie. UPS has 10 speeds, and most of the training companies now are all in automatics, which makes it difficult. So a lot of people now have the restrictions. My friend's in a brand new truck in Old Dominion, and they're still driving manuals, even in the brand new trucks. But like, I went to a local dealer here and asked if they had any manuals, and out of the whole freaking lot, there's only one manual. So looks like the manuals are going to go away eventually. Trucking with T-Bone says, I learned more when I went solo than I did during training. Yep, that happens, and people don't believe it, and that's something that hold on, I'm gonna put this thing up again, so if somebody else wants to jump in here, you guys can. Okay. Chris G, I am seeing like 1,000 messages from you. I'll Be a Mother Trucker says they had that major accident in Fort Worth a couple days ago. Yeah. Snowed in and shut down in Texas. Yes, Billy Raines. Billy Raines was just on I-20 in Texas, which is kind of far south. And he was stuck in an ice storm and everything. It's just crazy that's what's going on now.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and there was an inch of snow on the ground, and I messaged my fleet manager and I told him, said, hey, I'm safely parked. I had a drop and hook load that was actually due today at 1400. That's 2 p.m. I dropped it off last night and got into the truck stop. I had 3 hours left on my clock, and I said, yeah, well, I'll just shut down and see what the weather is tomorrow. And as soon as I saw the snow, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to stay put.
Yeah.
Safely parked.
I'll Be a Mother Trucker. Michaela is sitting here telling me she's going to do her live feed shirtless. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because then your channel will go like through the roof above me, and then I'll be jealous of you. But actually, would you believe YouTube's so ridiculous? I don't know if you guys saw the video where I filmed it from the bathtub when I was in Vegas, right? And I had a thumbnail of me laying in the bathtub with bubbles all covering me, and YouTube said that I was in violation of the nudity policy. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. These women, put all kinds of things with their butts hanging out and their cleavage hanging out and all that. And, and I get taken down.
That's
Sucks.
ridiculous.
Yeah. TJ Jones. Here's another one that you guys could go check out. Check out TJ Jones. Where are you at tonight, TJ? Angelica Jane, thanks for coming in. So, Captain Banana, what do you think was hard about transitioning into trucking?
Getting my blood pressure under control.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that really was it. It was just, I didn't realize that I had high blood pressure, and they call it the silent killer for a reason. And actually getting into trucking really saved my life, because my blood pressure was like 240 over 120 or something like that. It was some crazy, outrageous number.
This trucker's life says he's on I-10 and lots of trucks in the ditches. Everybody, we got to be really, really safe out there. We got trucking with T-Bone. He's in Nashville, freezing rain, 3 to 5 inches of snow.
Yeah.
That's like crazy. Oh, okay. Let's see. Now I got DirtyBroke in here.
What's up, cousin? Both my cousins in here. What's going on?
What's up, DirtyBroke? How you been?
Captain Banana, how you making out, bro?
I'm doing really well.
Salute. Congrats, man. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I watched the journey go all the way through there when you were talking about getting ready to go off to Prime, and hats off to you. Salute.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it going?
I love my brother DirtyBroke. I love you, sweetie.
All right.
Yeah.
We're driving now, and I'm just about ready to pull in a truck stop here, and I can flip the camera around.
That's my crazy cat.
So I wanted to stop in here, show your channel some love. You always come by and show me love, so I figured I'd return the favor.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yours was the first one I was actually live on that you brought me on to the show with RLC. So that's really cool. Look, they're saying in the chat, look, it's Big Dirty the Fuel Man.
Hey, what's up? I can't see anything now. I'm driving, but I'll check it out in a second.
Yeah.
Let me pull in here.
That's funny. So what's it like there? Is it really bad yet?
No, not bad. No, they're tomorrow, I think. Sometime tomorrow, I think they said it's, well, not tomorrow, Tuesday. What we in? We're still in Sunday right now, so yeah.
Yeah, we're it's been snowing here for like 2 days. I'm in Springfield, Missouri. I'm nice and warm in a hotel.
I'm nice and warm in my truck in Fort Worth, Texas. At a TA.
Yeah, freezing.
Yeah, we're just trying.
Well, after being in Minnesota for a couple of days where it was minus 14, 12 degrees is warm.
All right. Now we got the troublemakers in the house.
No, we're not troublemakers. What
yeah.
Never.
DB, you can't see this, but now this is Laura and Eric from Red Monkey Trucking. These are my buddies.
How y'all doing? How you guys doing?
Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good.
I'll join the party in just a second here. I'm just trying to back in here.
I'm trying to adjust this little thing right here.
That's what she said.
You like the lighting? You like my overalls?
I have a lot of Prime people in here, a lot of students in here, a lot of new people. So
cool. Crashing the Prime party? Am I crashing the Prime party? I don't know.
No,
not at all.
Hey, so let's talk about GP Transco.
Yeah, we can talk about GP Transco. We can talk about the tanker fuels. We can talk about whatever you want.
Tanker fuels. How are they doing right now?
Probably pretty good.
Gosh. Now Bees is trying to jump into. This is going to turn into some wild topics here.
I take it you've seen our show, right?
Yeah, Bees is crazy. Yeah.
What's up, bees knees?
What's going on?
Here we go.
All right.
What's
So, Red Monkey, tell us about GP Transco.
And they're a good company, man. It's just that out of the, what I've seen and what I've heard and what I've experienced from being in another carrier that was along the lines of when a major carrier or whatever going to another company that's a mid-sized company but acts like it's a startup tech company or something. They got super nice facility and nice equipment. They keep their equipment good. They don't use Qualcomm's. We use Samsara app on a tablet. It makes things go so much quicker. It's a lot easier to keep up with stuff. The day you get your loads quick. Everything's just so much smoother. The company itself, dude, you won't wait on the phone for nobody.
You can have as many animals as you want in your truck.
Wow.
They got good equipment, stuff like that. They pay good. They start people out at a decent rate of 50 cents a mile, but you also get your bonus on top of that. So that goes up to 56 cents a mile for just the regular OTP bonus. They don't force you to run an inward cam in your truck, but you can get an extra 2 cents a mile if you want to run that inward cam. So, that's up to you. That would be 58 cents. As a team, they run us at 71 cents split. And that's just starting out. Now, 6 months from now, because they just started the new program, it'll be 72 cents because we do our OTP bonus every week. We get it. So if you get it out of 22 weeks out of that period, out of a 6-month period, you'll be able to get a 1 cent raise. So we'll be 72 cents and then 73 cents, so on. See, I don't know when how much it caps out at, but we'll see. So they just started a new kind of pay. Huh?
You got the miles.
Miles are there too, of course. Like
No, not of course, because some of these companies they pay you a high cent per mile.
Yeah, we got the miles, of course. I'm telling you, yes, of course we got the miles. I haven't heard anybody complain about not getting miles here. They run you. They don't waste no time sitting between loads and stuff like that. Now, if we want time off or we only want to run, say, a certain amount, we're going to be like, hey, we only want this amount of loads or whatever, because we don't go out there and run hard, but we do run occasionally. We're like, okay, Christmas coming up this week, we're going to just keep running. And we ran over like 6,400 miles one week, and keeping it around between we were running like 57 to 62 for a few weeks. And then we just drop back down. Now we do like 4,500, and that's where we stay at. Shit, we were doing a base payload because they put us on a dedicated route for like 3 weeks to fill in for another team that's on a dedicated route. We only ran 2,900 miles for a team in a week, but we got paid a base pay of $1,500 each, not including our bonus and everything. So it came out after, taxes and everything is about $1,300 a week for not running hard at all.
Yeah.
So, that was cool. We're looking to go towards something like that, like a dedicated route down towards our house, like on 40. If we can set up something like that, if they can find a customer that would do something like that, we'd be all for it. And we'd do it. They definitely help us out with putting us on something like that. So, and that's what's another good thing about the company, man. They're willing to work with people. They listened to me when I had an issue about the way they were running a fuel thing. So, so yeah,
I want to name the puppy.
Company. What do you want to name it?
Well, you guys don't know. They just got a new little puppy. I want it to be Tater's Tot.
Tater's Tot. Oh.
I thought that was cute.
He's a Chihuahua Pug mix. So super little.
No.
She's little.
I know.
Oh, such a cute little doggy there.
So Bee's Knees, you're over there chomping on something, and I always promote Bees as being somebody who cooks on his truck and cooks healthy and all this stuff, and he comes on my TV and then starts eating
yeah.
Yes.
The kettle corn.
It wasn't potato chips, no Doritos, no fatty
Truck
cakes.
up. I need to get up through there.
I just wanted some kettle popcorn. That was it.
Some good stuff.
So where are you guys?
What do you mean?
Where are you in the country? Yeah.
We're sitting in Cadillac, man, at my son's house.
Cadillac, Michigan.
We're sitting in my ex-wife's house.
And it's gotta be nasty up there.
And yes, we've always had a.
I'm not saying anything.
That sounds like a good family get together.
See how uncommon it is to have.
It's a good damn time, is all I'm telling you.
No, actually, I went to school. I came from a really small town, and everybody grew up and married everybody. And one of my friends got married to our classmate, and then had kids, and then they got divorced, and then he got remarried, and then somewhere along the line, somebody got kicked out and evicted or whatever, and he wound up actually living in a house with his ex-wife, his new wife, and kids from both wives. And I was like, oh man, this is like something you see in like one of those polygamous documentaries.
Basically Appalachia in a bottle.
Yeah, it's not really like that, but it's cool. Like we just have a good friendship and everything.
That's really cool.
And you don't see these kind of situations. That's why y'all were like, because it's not that common, and it should be when two parents get divorced and they need to treat their kids with respect and not argue and do bullshit and show that family is everything. Yeah. And that's what matters. So, and that's how we've treated our family and our kids. So we're going to keep it.
Now we got DB is back on camera. Now we get to see his face.
How you doing?
I had to move one of these OTR drivers out of my way. He had my truck blocked in.
But you're just starting work soon, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm about to start in about 3 minutes. I don't like to log on until midnight.
So how many hours you normally work? That's a question people get. They want to know, like, what's your actual schedule for a local? How much time do you get to stay home? That kind of thing.
And of course, it's going to vary company to company. You know the deal. There's really not a whole lot of cookie cutter out here. But anyway, I usually start at midnight. My start time is usually the same. My end time is usually. You got the CB squawking. But I turned it off. Yeah, I usually start at midnight every night. I'm over here on the East Coast, as you know, Captain Banana knows. And I'm usually done like 10:30, 11 o'clock, usually 10 and a half, 11 hours a day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday.
So you're driving a tanker. So how much experience does somebody need before they can go get a job like that?
Well, I actually have some videos on that. A couple videos ago, I got a guy in. He was the greenest guy I brung in. He only has 6 months tractor trailer experience. And I got him over here. He's actually out of Philly. 2 guys I just got here in the last month out of Philadelphia.
Where are you at?
I'm out right now, and I'm out in central Pennsylvania right now.
Okay.
Home is Philadelphia, but I
come rolling through there on 80 quite a bit.
Yeah. Yep. I run 78 and 81 every day, all day.
Okay, I know where you're running then. Yeah, that's a pretty busy area.
Very, very busy.
That's very pretty busy over there.
You had to be rolling with a bomb on wheels.
Yeah, too, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, I'm sure you've had those moments where the seat might have been attached to you afterwards.
Actually, believe it or not, actually not since I've been pulling tank wagon.
Have you ever had to deal with the tank surge?
No, we don't. No, when you're pulling a gasoline tanker, you don't have tank surge.
You have the hole baffles in it and stuff that keeps it from surging.
Correct.
Right? Okay, got you.
It's just like pulling a dry van or something like that.
Yeah, got you. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
I don't want to say where you work because I have a pretty good guess of where you work just watching your videos. But
it's not a big deal. I work for Loves. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, dude.
Well, I didn't never hear you actually say it. But is that like a seniority based type of job? Do you get better routes if you've been there longer?
No, absolutely not. Because we do the truck stops. We do the same thing every day. So my route's not going to be no better than your route. The only difference is the only difference is my pay will just be more. That's the only difference. Is coming in brand new or somebody who's been here for years. Because we get what they call the modifier pay, and that goes up, each year you've been here. So a new person will come in making a certain amount, and then of course, the longer you're here, the more you'll make.
Right. And you're always in day cabs, so you're only going out.
Actually, now they do have sleepers over here. Depending on what part of the country you're in. Yeah. They do have OTR positions. They do have dry van positions and stuff like that. You know, and yep.
So what happens when somebody wants to shut down for winter? Do you just not start your day because it's already that bad, or do you get stuck someplace?
They will not force you to go out. They like you to get out if you can, but if you can't, you can't. What I usually do, we have a communication, a messaging system that we all use throughout the whole company, and everybody in the whole company can see your message. And what I do, I just show pictures. Like, look, it's bad out here. You know what I'm saying? I take me a few pictures, and look, this is what it is. This is where I'm at. So I said, once they clean up everything, then I'll go to work. I don't come in the truck and log on and burn up hours when I can't be productive and get anything done. So I usually just go back home.
Now, do they pay you per mile or do they pay you per hour?
Well, we actually just got switched over to hourly pay. Like, this is our second week on hourly pay.
So as far as you have to have a hazmat, obviously, for fuel and the tanker, right?
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Any other special,
Nope.
Endorsements, yeah.
Nope. Just your hazmat and your tanker. Well, depending on what part of the country you're in, they want you to have your doubles endorsement. But over here on the East Coast, you can't, pull doubles.
I was thinking like down in Tennessee area. I don't think you'd want I don't think you'd have your doubles down there.
Yeah, there you go. So no, you wouldn't need that down there. Nope.
Yeah. So
local driving. I mean, I give it to local. I did that for a year with Domino's, and that's a lot of hustling, man. And people like if you're having a hard time managing your clock as your regional and OTR, like local. It's not going to work pretty for you, and you're going to be calling them, being like, "Hey, can I get a hotel? I got about half of my route, and I ran out of time," type deal. But I give it to the local people, just because different.
No, go ahead.
Different aspects of the job and that hustle grind and everything that's involved, plus the long hours. People don't realize. They think local, you can sometimes work 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, go home, and it's all fine and dandy.
Depending on what kind of local you do, it can be like that, man.
Yeah,
and all local, like I try to say, all local is not created the same. All local is not back-breaking work. Like, what I do is nothing back-breaking. I try to say this all the time. Like, I go to work, like, I'm completely clean. I come home just like this. Sometimes my wife can't even tell I've been to work. Like, it's not hard. It's not physical at all.
Well, you're saying that, and we've discussed this on your channel, but I actually have a lot of women in this channel right now in this live feed, women that are looking to come into trucking.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
So what I want to ask you is, how heavy are all those hoses that you're pumping those tanks?
Not really heavy at all, and you're basically only lifting it to your knee just to drain it off, just to get the access out whatever in the hose. And the hose is about maybe 10 feet long. It's not like you have to lift it up over your head. And I'm glad you said that, because I actually slip seat with a female.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we do slip seat here, and that's another reason why you will not work a lot of hours here, because you have to get out of the truck because somebody else has to get in. You work your shift and you're out, and then somebody else is in.
Okay, hot seating.
Yeah, we call it slip seat here. Yep.
Yeah.
So you will. It's extremely, and I mean extremely rare for me to be in the truck for 12 hours. That is, if I'm in the truck for 12 hours, something happened.
And you're home every day? You're home every day?
Every day. I've never slept in a truck ever. And this would be my 31st year right here. And well, November, the end of this year, it'd be 31 years pulling trailers.
Oh, wow.
31
That's
years.
Great.
Yep. And I never
4 years service.
Never slept in a truck. Appreciate it.
Hauling materials.
I've only been pulling tank wagon for 12 years. This is my 12th year pulling tank wagon.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Sure. What's your channel?
That's not bad compared to
Dirty.
I mean, that's a good gig, man. That's a real good gig.
I'll tell you this here, and I said this before. I think in this part of the country where I'm at, I don't think we have a driver here that made less than $85,000 a year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that
Northeast.
Every night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think we had one driver here Now, a driver that was available to work. Now, if you didn't work for whatever reason, injured, whatever, then that's different. But if you worked pretty much the whole year, you didn't make less than $85,000.
And you have weekends off?
Yeah, I'm usually off on the weekends. Most guys work. A new guy, they'll have you work at least one day out of the weekend. You'll either work a Saturday or a Sunday. That's how your shift will be set up. You'll work like a Sunday through Thursday, or a what is it, or a Tuesday through Saturday or something like that.
Right.
So Trucking with T-Bone's asking, how many miles do you actually drive on a fuel route like that? Because you're constantly unloading.
Me personally, I don't. It's rare for me to go over 300 miles in one day.
Okay.
That's how close together everything is over here where I'm at.
But your own experience also has you doing things a lot faster too.
Ooh, 300. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's not really. No, it's not. Well, if you know what you're doing, yeah, that'll speed up everything. But it's not like you have to drive fast or anything like that. Because in our trucks, maybe your trucks are similar. We got the speed gauge and all that in there, so you can't be speeding. We have cameras. I got driver facing, road facing, and I got cameras facing down both sides of the trailer. So it's like cameras everywhere. They monitor your speed. They're very safety conscious over here, and that's attached to your safety bonus. So you don't want to screw that up, because if you screw that up, you screw up a lot of money. In fact, Kirsty, I'll send you an email. I'll show you something. So I'll do that a little later once I get off the live. I'll send that to you. You can look through that, and the bonuses over here is off the chart.
That's awesome.
Good.
So you don't want to screw that up.
Soon.
Yeah, we're about to crack. There's no big deal. We're about to crack out of here.
Listen to him. He don't care. It's no big deal.
No, you don't care.
No, we're gonna because it's like when you do what I do, I know exactly. Like I know exactly. I pretty much know what I got to do. I just don't know the order I got to do it, and I do the same thing every day. And that's another thing I try to explain to people when they want to do this kind of work. If you can't handle something that's very monotonous, don't do this, man, because I do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Like it is like, if you can imagine watching a hamster on a wheel, this is what this is like. And I'm not lying, man. I would have to say that's the downside of doing this kind of work, but it pays very well and your schedule is consistent. That's the upside.
There's a lot to be said about that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like that kind of work, I didn't even know if I would like this kind of work until I did it, and I adapted to it, and I actually love it now.
There you go.
So. Yeah,
no sitting in a door for 6 hours.
No. One thing here, you do not sit for nothing. Nothing. I don't sit.
No, and
once I hit that clock, it's go time till I'm done.
I think a lot of it too has to. People don't realize, like that Northeast, that corridor. Like I grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, right? I grew up in the Northeast.
Yeah,
it wasn't until later in my life I moved to the South, and like my father, he was in trucking and he did a lot of local. Then he went over to the pipeline and everything. And people don't realize, like in the Northeast, there's the local drivers. I mean, it's almost benefits you if you're local, in my opinion, to either. If you're live up there in the Northeast, is to do something local to where you can have a best of both worlds scenario. You're
he's breaking up a little bit.
Able to go home.
Can y'all hear him?
Not every day, not every other day.
No, he's breaking up.
Lost him. Yeah.
Well, should have got Verizon.
But hey, if anybody have any questions, just come on over to the channel, DirtyBroke215. I try to go live at least once a week. We do what we call the Truckers Lounge. You can come in, you can talk about anything you want.
That's awesome. Thank you, sweetie.
And Kirsty, we got to get you back over. It's been a while. It's been about a year, I guess, maybe a little longer.
And I usually don't have very good service. If I'm not in a hotel, I was just trying to jump in the Red Monkey last night in their feed, and it just kicked me out. And I'm in the hotel. I don't know what the problem was. I just kept looping.
What do you mean looping? Like circle?
No, I mean I actually replayed the sequence over and over and over. I kept hearing you say over and over and over, "She's got a mean face on."
That's
We
weird.
don't want mean
Well,
Kiersey.
that's irritating.
All right. Well, I'm getting ready to push these pedals. It was a pleasure meeting you guys. Like I said, come by, hang out, and we can talk about it.
All
All right,
right.
Kiersey. Y'all
Thanks,
be good
All
out
right,
there.
Dirty Bro.
Nice
Good
to
seeing
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Nice to
you.
meet you, man. Be safe out there.
Bye, sweetie. Oops. All right.
Yep.
Oh, where'd you go?
She's showing me.
Add you back in.
Hey, we haven't
Somehow
seen
he
you in a
got
while.
out too.
Well, how you doing, Bees? I hadn't seen you in a while, buddy.
How you doing? It's and it's not Verizon. It's
I'm doing just
let me
silly goose.
let me showcase this real quick. Quality
Ooh.
quality internet.
Room 155 quality in.
Oh, you were
Not
really
so
spending
Quality
some
Inn.
money in a Quality Inn.
Somewhere
Oh
in
yeah,
New
oh
Jersey.
yeah, whole bunch of dough here.
Is that in Jersey?
What's that?
Well,
I said, this is Mark from Boston. Let me tell you something. If you don't go stay at the Quality Inn, you're not staying in a fucking hotel, okay? That's my
so
Mark.
you guys
That's
in
my
the
Mark from
chat,
Boston.
anybody have any questions for an owner op?
Yeah, look, first of all, I wouldn't even consider being an owner up till 5 years of driving, because I think that 5 years is a good state of understanding the industry and how it operates to begin with, and giving yourself time to study finances. And I think that any program going to any operator, owner op, lease op,
But that is to say, we don't really know because we haven't done it.
I just think it would be best to wait before I could
It
even give
doesn't
an
seem
opinion.
responsible to jump in after a year of driving.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
I don't think I should even give an opinion until 5 years.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I have 5.5 years, so I'm going to give my opinion.
Okay.
My opinion is that before somebody becomes an owner op, they should learn how to read an atlas, not follow the GPS, and not wind up in the Cape May Peninsula where they have to take an hour and a half ferry ride to get to Delaware, because even though he was 140 miles away from where he had to be, the little water body was only 31 miles. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go check out Bees Knees channel, because it's hysterical, right? The seagulls in the back, I'm listening to the seagulls and I'm like, man, that's reminding me of summer at home, and this is really cool. That sounds like the Jersey Shore. And then he goes into the thing, and that's exactly where he was. And I was like,
that's
no,
exactly
he didn't.
what I did. That was such a nice $83 Cape Ferry May ferry ride that they offered me a T-bone steak, a filet mignon with grilled asparagus, and I mean, you name it, they had it aboard the almighty ship.
So you had to spend a little money that day.
What route did you take?
Yeah, I mean, by the time, dude, if he would have ordered like
May?
the meal and everything else, he would have came off the ferry ride, be like, damn, that was like $200.
Actually, I could read an atlas. I have one on my GPS that has an atlas, so you can go in and look at it. But I can actually open a book and read an atlas. It's because people in the military have that already. That's like they make you do that. So it comes
I
natural
was
with that.
teasing you. I love you. I just thought
These knees, I didn't even know.
Teasing.
I gotta go
It's
see
all
this
good.
video.
I think it was kind of funny.
I haven't seen the video. I'd like to see it.
It's not the problem that I don't know how to read an atlas. It's the problem that sometimes I just get lazy, right? We all do it. And that's what
right. You got complacent with it by any chance?
You can get complacent. You can get a little bit lazy. You can be like, oh, well, I'm just going like 300 miles down or 400 miles down the road. It's not like I'm going out to, wherever, to a damn island. It's like I'm going to Delaware, So, you take a little stuff for granted, and then next thing you know it, you find yourself in an awkward situation to where, you're the only truck, and you look a nice little fairy lady at the booth, and she's like, excuse me, sir, apparently you've never been down here before. And I'm like, no, I haven't.
Yeah, but I gotta give you credit, because I'm telling you,
I gotta go watch
this
video, man. I have not seen the video. I'm gonna go watch that.
I love the sense of humor, and he actually says in the video, I know all you super truckers out there are going to tell me I shouldn't have done this, but I'm enjoying my $83 ride, and I only got an hour and a half ride, and I got 2 hours to get there. I'm just going to make it. It's just hysterical. I loved it. It was great. I watched it 3 times. Just
Hey, that's a good attitude, to have. I'm gonna make it. That's good.
But how much did you save in fuel and tolls taking that $83 ferry ride?
If going Grand
not
Rapids
really
to
much
Green
tolls
Bay,
now.
you
Granted,
take
now, granted, that load right there was paying pretty good. See, there's aluminum cans up there, in especially out of Saratoga Springs. For those that are interested, in the owner operated gig, I mean, they kind of came down in price right now, but it's still pretty high. You could still get around $3 a mile. But the time I did it, it was paying me roughly around $4 a mile, and it paid a pretty good penny. But when I chose my route, I know, like, when you're going into New York City and you're having to go up into the Queen's Paradise, the New England states, they require you to pay in. But as you're leaving the Queen's Kingdom, typically they don't require you to pay when you go out, unless you're taking certain toll roads. But I chose to go down the 87 to the 287. But then when I kicked back over, right, to go kind of around the New York City, I came back into Jersey, and instead of going down towards, like, back into Philly and then cutting down, I said, you know what? I'm just going to take this highway all the way down to Jersey, and I'm not really paying attention. So at the end of the day, like, it was $83, right? So did I save any money? Not really, because you're going to hit some tolls and whatnot there. But at the end of the day, like, it's $83. Now, if I would have chose to go around it, I think if I would have chose a different route, it probably would have added 50 to 60 more miles onto the route if I would have did my route shape. But not if 50 or 60, it probably less than that. I'd have to look at the map. But when I just punch it in and everything else, it just, I followed the route like a dummy. And that's what I get for doing dummy things. And, sometimes when you're an owner operator, you get spanked at one time, and that's the only spanking that you need, because you learn your lesson pretty quick. So,
well, a word of advice: with your GPS, go into your settings and select avoid ferries.
Yep.
Yeah. That button.
That's not what he thought it meant.
That's not what he thought it meant.
Yeah.
Get away.
It's a bunch of ferries.
Ferries and unpaved roads.
I hit the
ferry.
But yeah, I hit the on like the no U-turns and stuff.
Right.
But I definitely went back in there. I was like, yeah, let me. I don't know why I didn't check that. Like, it should be obvious. Like, check the box for ferries, and like that shouldn't even be an option. It should be just like, it's not typically the smartest thing to do.
In your defense, though, I'm going to tell you a story. I wound up in North Carolina and followed the directions that the shipper gave me, but somehow they were wrong. The guy didn't even know where he was, and I got lost, and I wound up right in front of a ferry. And I'm like, oh, crap, what do I do now? I was going around a circle, like a roundabout. And I was like, what do I do? And it just happened to be that there was like this little road over here, and there was like a what do you call it, like a marina where people had all their boats and trailers and everything. I actually parked the truck right in the middle of this two-way road, like one lane each direction, just parked it, walked down to the marina to see if there was enough room for me to turn around. People were screaming and honking, and I was like, I don't care. I ain't,
something? I got stuck in an alley, and I got out. I went under a 13-4 bridge. First of all, I managed to get under it because it was a train bridge, and unfortunately it didn't have a train, so it didn't flex as much. So apparently me and the guy ahead of me that I ended up behind could get out. But before that, I was in Philly, downtown Philly. The guy next door to the brewery told me to go around the place, which was not the right direction. So it ended up ending me in the alley. I'm telling you, dude, I couldn't turn left or right. There was a garbage truck in front of me blocking the whole road. There wasn't no way to go around. There was cars behind me all the way down the street, cars beside me. I was in the middle of the intersection, and all it was an alleyway. It sucked. Okay, that was a time that I puckered up real bad. There was one time that was kind of funny. I made a video about it backing out of behind a store that the directions led me right down to the end of it, and I couldn't turn around. And I had to back around corner and going up a hill and everything. With Laura was sleeping, and I didn't want to wake her up for her to help me. So I figured it was good practice. But stuff like that, man, it is a good learning occasion. It smacks you in the face sometimes, and you realize, oh, I should have been paying more attention. You know, and that, hopefully in those situations it turns out not to be a bad situation. We all learn little lessons here and there, and that keeps us on our toes. And I hope that's all it ever is. You know what I mean? Because some people aren't so fortunate out here. They get in accidents and people get hurt, and it sucks. Like the thing down in Fort Worth, Texas. The ice storm that hit a few days ago, and they had that major pile of 100 cars, man. And those videos of those trucks hitting that shit is absolutely insane.
Oh yeah, it's terrifying.
Like cars flying in the air when that daggum one semi hit, that it flipped that daggum pickup truck like 2 times, landed on a pile of metal like 20 feet away, man. And it just flipped it in its spot like that. I was like, holy crap, man! It was just amazing and horrible at the same time.
Well, you guys had your own little. You had your own little event. Remember when what happened with the windshield broke? The window broke.
Yeah, there was a bus broke down on the corner of the road going around a road in Texas on I-10. It was like almost Beaumont, Texas, I think, right before there. Oh, you're going around a curve, and you got them concrete walls up anyway, and you can't see around the curve because of those concrete walls. And man, there was a bus broke down right around the curve with, like, it was this old bus. You couldn't hardly see any lights on or anything. It had little dim flashers. It was too quick to even do anything but turn my truck quick enough. I had a heavy load, and it caught my mirror, and it hit my mirror so hard, dude, it knocked it through my passenger window in my lap. I was in the driver's seat. It just came flying across the glass.
Like, well, hello, mirror.
Hey, how you doing? It was crazy, man. Yeah, I did. I mean, it was put down as unpreventable. I mean, because it was out in the middle of the road.
I've never had an incident.
We got to get out of here, guys.
Did you notice she said that really sexy too? Like, I never had an incident.
Well, it is Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Bye.
You guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.
Take it easy.
Be safe.
All right,
bye, guys.
See you later, Red Monkey.
Yeah. But
well, I had an interesting experience last night. It was dark and all road construction. I had to deliver at Kraft here in Fort Worth, and well, they had the entrance to the Kraft plant that I had to deliver to. That was blocked off, so I had to go down. And I didn't have enough room to swing a U-turn, so I pulled into another area to do a U-turn in there and then come out. And when I got in there, well, the gate was closed, so I couldn't go in to do the U-turn, so I had to back up, then go into the four-wheeler lot, go straight back up again, and kind of do a K-turn with my truck and trailer and get out. And yeah, that was interesting. But I made it to my ship. I made it to my receiver, dropped my trailer, got out of there, got an empty, and got to the truck stop and shut down right before all the snow hit.
Brian O'Shea is saying that as a New York City cop, he had to shut down traffic so way where truckers can find their way back to the West Side Highway. And here's another one. I'll admit to this. I actually had to call the cops on myself in Elizabeth, New Jersey, right in front of the post office, because you're going down the highway. Well, it's an inner city area. You're going down the road, and it says truck route, truck route, truck route, and then all of a sudden it says truck route ends. Where the hell did it end, and where was I supposed to turn around? And then, yeah, exactly. And right in front of me, was like this 11-foot bridge that was one of those like pedestrian walkways from a hospital or something going across the road. 11 foot. And I was like, oh crap. So I call the cops. They come and they shut down the road. Now I was really new and I was afraid of like the tail swing on the back of the trailer because I had to go so close to the cop car to be able to turn around. And the cop is standing in front of the traffic. This car came flying and almost hit the cop. And the cop punched the hood of the car and was screaming, "You want to kill me? I'll throw your ass in jail." And I was like, oh crap, am I supposed to keep going or what? But at least I was, I was like, well, I'm in my home state. This is normal,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's definitely. I tell you what, the Northeast. You're in my trucking career. That's where I've learned lessons. Is always the Northeast. The South. The South is the South, man. It's all. I'm not saying every part of the South is the same. Like driving in New Orleans, we're gonna find different places, and different tight streets. I did local work in New Orleans. But other than that, if you get out of those older cities, I mean, it's a lot easier to maneuver. Yeah, you hit some traffic, but that's about it, And then, but up here in the Northeast, I mean, you will learn your lesson. These cities were built back in the day, when when we first settled, they weren't exactly designed to have these big old trucks on these tiny little roads, and it takes a lot, of patience. That I've learned and driving in this, and I'm not afraid to admit or ashamed to admit that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you're not making the same mistake twice. People really need to see, as long as you're not, there's a difference between making a mistake and then doing something like that is detrimental to the society, or that's going to risk another person's life, your life, or the risk of others while driving on the road. That's a danger. Right now, you're a danger. But you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make a wrong turn, go in a neighborhood. You're going to do something. If you say, well, I'll never make a mistake, well, it's bound to happen at least once, my man.
It's not just once. You're going to continue to make mistakes your whole trucking career. If you think after 5.5 years that I don't make wrong turns or get distracted or anything like that.
No, not Kiersey. Kiersey can't do no wrong.
Voice in trucking.
I actually trip plan an extra hour into my trip just for getting lost time. It's just what I do. Because I know I'm going to screw up. I know I'm going to. There's been some serious accidents I was involved in, like I was at, let's put it that way. And just, you get rerouted and crazy things happen. And they routed us through a residential area, and all the trucks coming off the interstate going through the residential area was too much pressure and weight for the pipes, the water pipes. We broke a water main, and then all the water was shooting up and like through the manhole covers all over the place. And I'm like, oh, there goes a flying disc. Oh, thank God it didn't hit the windshield. So crazy things happen out there, and you just got to roll with it. People are way too uptight and not flexible enough, and they can't accept their own faults. You're not going to make it out here. You're human. And you can't allow yourself to get distracted by your screw ups either, because that means the next time you're going to screw up worse.
Oh yeah. But anyway, Miss Kiersey, I gotta get my butt up in the morning because I have to drive out to the grand state of Colorado. So
oh, good luck with that.
Yeah, I said, you know what? I'm looking at all the loads on a load board. I'm like, oh man. And I didn't want to do it, so I looked at the weather map and I'm like, okay, I'm looking. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take it. I think I can do this.
Well, I'm in Springfield, and the town actually put out notices to people saying, number one, expect shortages of electricity and water, and number two, expect your utility bills to go through the roof next month.
Yeah, I mean, it's the winter. it's part of the. It's like, you know, driving in the South expecting like a hurricane's not going to come. I mean, it's just, yeah, you know, of course I'm going to be careful, but you know, I don't really
Don't
shy
expect
away from the
ice
snow.
storms on I-10 in Texas.
No.
Come on.
In Texas, shoot, there's
Texas.
ice in the Louisiana. my wife was calling me. She said, Shane, yeah, we're supposed to get ice. I just wrapped the pipes in a towel and everything. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's going on down there. It's like -10. But anyway, I gotta go. So thanks for having me on, Kirsty. And nice meeting you. I don't know what your name is.
Captain Banana.
That's
all right,
Bees Knees Trucking. Make
Yeah.
sure you guys go subscribe to him. I love him. He's awesome. He's always funny. So you be safe out there. I'm actually going to wrap this up, guys, because I've been on for almost 2 hours now. Okay? So, Captain Bananas, nice talking to you. You guys go subscribe to him. And everybody out there, be safe. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. And I hope to see you out here. Trucking along. Bye, guys.
See ya.